Okay, buckle up because the trucking industry is, well, it's really rumbling with change right now.
Uh-huh.
From the quiet hum of new tech to, the roar of big legal fights and market shifts.
Yes.
Dynamic, always evolving, and honestly, never boring.
It really is. It's a landscape that just demands you pay constant attention. Every turn can reveal something new, maybe an opportunity, maybe a challenge you didn't see coming.
And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive. Our mission here is simple. Sift through the latest news, pull out what really matters, and break it down so you, the listener, can stay informed, feel prepared, and frankly, stay in control of your journey.
Yeah, navigate what's coming down the road.
Exactly, whatever lies on the asphalt ahead.
So today we're unpacking quite a bit. We'll get into some cutting-edge tech that's like literally changing how freight moves.
Right.
Then there are these big business decisions shaking things up, crucial legal battles that could define future regulations.
And we'll finish with some really practical advice too, right, for navigating those daily challenges out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Things you can use day to day. And we'll try to look at these from multiple angles, like Hervey from LifeAsATrucker always advises. Understand how these big stories actually impact your life, on and off the road.
Okay, let's dive in. What's catching your eye first in this current landscape?
For me, it's got to be autonomous freight. It's not just a concept anymore. It's happening.
You're talking about Aurora innovation, aren't you? Because, yeah, the future didn't just merge onto the highway. It feels like it flipped a switch. 247 autonomous freight between Dallas and Houston.
Exactly. And this isn't just another demo run. We're talking fully operational, revenue-generating freight.
So what makes this rollout different? I mean, beyond just, hey, it's autonomous.
Well, I think the real game changer is their tech, specifically something they call First Light Lidar. Now, most people have heard of Lidar, but this version, it's got this extreme long-range vision.
How long are we talking?
It can apparently detect hazards nearly half a kilometer away, even in pitch black, or, difficult weather. That directly tackles one of the biggest criticisms of autonomous driving reliability in low visibility or at night.
Okay, half a kilometer, that's huge for safety.
Right.
Imagine those dark rural roads, wildlife jumping out, debris.
Right. It gives the system so much more time to react. And Aurora is claiming this 247 operation could basically double truck utilization.
Because no human hours of service limits, right? The truck just keeps rolling.
Exactly. Freight keeps moving while human-driven rigs are parked for the night. That could potentially slash delivery times for shippers.
And that's where you start seeing the different takes on this, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Tech folks are calling it a watershed moment. Proof that this is commercially real now.
But I bet a lot of traditional drivers are worried.
Understandably. They see these predictable high-volume lanes like Dallas-Houston as the first ones likely to go fully automated. That raises real questions about long-haul job opportunities down the line.
It's a genuine concern, something we absolutely need to keep in perspective. Safety advocates, though, they must be looking at that detection range and thinking.
This could significantly lower crash risks, especially for those sudden, unexpected obstacles.
Yeah.
But then you have the industry analysts.
Always the pragmatists.
Right. They're quick to point out that success isn't just the tech working. It really hinges on things like uptime, the actual maintenance costs, and maybe the biggest piece, public acceptance. Are people okay sharing the road with fully driverless semis?
That's a huge hurdle. And what about the practical challenges? Like you mentioned weather. Texas isn't exactly known for predictable conditions.
No kidding. Pop-up thunderstorms, thick fog, extreme heat. The system has to prove it can handle all of that reliably. But it's also important to remember, it's probably not all about job displacement.
Okay.
New roles are likely going to emerge, things like remote oversight, specialized maintenance, handling the complex local delivery parts.
Ah, the first and last mile. So for owner-operators, maybe the opportunity is integrating with these autonomous line hauls, or specializing in those irregular routes where automation might not work as well.
Exactly. It really comes down to adapting your business to your skills.
Speaking of adaptation, let's shift gears a bit. Another big market mover, Echo Global Logistics, just acquired FreightSaver.
Right, and this happened even with the freight market being kind of soft right now.
Which seems a little counterintuitive at first glance, doesn't it? Why buy now?
It does, but it looks like a really smart strategic play by Echo. Okay, so spot rates and volumes are down, which means valuations are lower.
So it's cheaper to buy.
Precisely. Echo is using this downturn to pick up strategic assets. FreightSaver is based in California. They're a 3PL.
That's third-party logistics, right? They manage shipping for companies.
Yep. And FreightSaver has a strong West Coast presence, good expertise in port drayage. So this acquisition positions Echo really well for when the market bounces back. It expands their footprint, integrates services coast to coast.
So it's like buying property when the market's cool. You get more for your dollar, potentially.
Kinda, yeah.
What does this mean for drivers and carriers on the ground?
Well, it could mean more loads coming out of California, especially around the ports.
Right.
That's the upside. But we're also hearing caution. Some drivers expect these bigger 3PLs to use their leverage to push rates down, especially with the current excess capacity out there. It's a fair concern.
Shippers, though, they probably like this.
That could benefit, yeah. Maybe get a wider network, deal with just one provider for national and regional stuff. Simplifies things.
So the bottom line for carriers and drivers, maybe more freight available, but likely alongside really tight margins and competitive rates.
That seems likely, reflecting the current market.
Okay, so here's what strikes me connecting these two stories, the autonomous tech and this consolidation. They seem different, but they both point to this urgent truth for truckers. Adaptability isn't just nice to have anymore.
No, it's becoming the defining skill for survival, really.
Your ability to pivot, to adjust, that's going to dictate your future because these changes, they directly hit load availability, they hit rates, they change the very nature of driving.
Exactly right. Understanding these shifts, seeing them coming, is just crucial for staying ahead, keeping your business healthy.
And staying ahead often means figuring out the regulatory landscape, which is complex to say the least. Right now, there's a pretty big legal fight brewing. 4 major truck makers, Daimler, Volvo, PACCAR, Triton, they're suing California's Air Resources Board, CARB.
Over the stricter emissions rules, CARB is pushing.
Now, this sounds like some wonky legal thing, but it has real-world impact for drivers, right?
Huge implications. It basically boils down to states' rights versus wanting federal uniformity. CARB argues, look, under the Clean Air Act, we have historical authority to set tougher rules because our air quality challenges are unique.
And they've used that to push things like faster timelines for zero-emission trucks.
Correct. But the manufacturers are saying, hold on, managing 2 different sets of rules, federal and California, is a nightmare.
More expensive. Supply chain issues.
All of that. They argue it drives up costs, complicates supply chains, and actually slows down innovation because they're juggling too many standards. They say they're not against cleaner air, just against what they call regulatory chaos.
So what happens depending on who wins?
Okay, if the manufacturers win, you, the listener, will likely see a slower, maybe more predictable transition to zero-emission trucks. Timelines might align more with federal rules, possibly fewer California-compliant premiums on equipment.
And if CARB wins?
Then expect an accelerated shift to electric or hydrogen rigs, not just in California, but potentially in other states that follow CARB's lead. That could really impact purchasing decisions and fleet strategies much sooner.
This feels like a really big deal for owner-operators.
Especially them. There's a real fear of being priced out of compliance if these zero-emission mandates roll out faster than the charging or refueling infrastructure gets built. It's not just about emissions. It's about the basic financial viability of your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of regulations hitting independent operations, let's jump over to New Jersey. They're looking to tighten the definition of independent contractor, right?
Yes, particularly targeting port trucking. They're moving to codify the ABC test.
Okay, break down the ABC test for us. It's critical to understand.
Right. So under the ABC test, a worker is considered an employee unless the company can prove all 3 things. A, the worker is free from the company's control and direction.
Okay.
B, the work performed is outside the usual course of the company's business. And C, the worker is customarily engaged in an independently established trade or business.
And for port drayage, that B prong, that's the tough one.
That's off of the brick wall, exactly.
Yeah.
Because hauling freight is the trucking company's usual business. It's hard to argue otherwise.
So what are the potential ripple effects if this goes through?
Well, if ICs are reclassified as employees, you could see higher costs for carriers, which might tighten capacity and lead to higher dray rates for shippers.
And for the drivers themselves, the independent contractors.
They could lose that flexibility, that control over their schedules, equipment choices, who they haul for, all for the very reasons they chose to be independent in the first place.
Now, supporters of this kind of rule, like labor groups and the state's Department of Labor, they see it differently.
They argue it's about Protecting workers from misclassification, making sure they get benefits like minimum wage, overtime, unemployment insurance, stopping companies from, dodging responsibilities.
But opponents, business groups, many owner-operators, they argue it makes the IC model almost impossible in trucking.
Yeah, they warned it could basically eliminate independent contractors in certain sectors and really choke the supply chain as a result.
This definitely sounds similar to California's AB5 situation.
It certainly rhymes with AB5, as some put it. It sets that default presumption of employee status using the ABC test, maybe with fewer exceptions or safe harbors.
So for drivers operating as ICs, the takeaway is be proactive. Really audit your current setup. Document your independence contracts, business structure, everything. And start thinking through what-if scenarios for your business model if the rules change.
These legal and regulatory shifts, they're not just abstract debates. They directly shape your operating environment, your costs, maybe even your employment status. It really hammers home that advice from Hervey at LifeAsATrucker. You got to see these issues from all sides because they will affect you.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, let's shift from the big picture down to the daily drive. Because success and safety out there often boil down to being prepared and knowing how to react quickly. Let's talk about crashes, those first few minutes.
Oh yeah, that first 10 to 30 minutes after a crash, that window is absolutely critical. It can literally determine legal outcomes, financial outcomes for a fleet, everything.
So what's the absolute first priority for a driver in that situation? Assuming they're okay, of course.
Yeah.
Safety first, always. Secure the scene. That means assess any immediate hazards. Is there spilled fuel? Down power lines? Do this from a safe distance. Then make yourself and the truck visible. Flashers on, triangles out, put on that high-vis vest.
Protects you, helps first responders find you easily. Good point.
Then call 911 yourself. Don't ever assume someone else did. Your call creates crucial documentation, helps avoid conflicting reports later.
And notify dispatch immediately.
Right away, so they can get the ball rolling with insurance, safety personnel, whatever their protocol is, and then document everything. Absolutely everything.
Photos, video.
Yes. Witness names and contact info if possible. Get shots of the vehicle positions before they're moved, if you can safely.
Yeah.
Skid marks, road signs, traffic signals, even the weather conditions. Things change incredibly fast at a scene. Evidence disappears.
That makes sense. Any advice on how the driver should interact with others at the scene?
Be calm. Be empathetic. Show concern for others involved, but don't admit fault. That simple human approach can really help de-escalate tension and goes a long way with witnesses and law enforcement.
And why does getting this right matter so much?
Because doing these steps correctly leads to a much stronger legal defense, faster insurance claims, less downtime for the truck and driver, and protects the company's reputation. Sloppy handling, on the other hand, can cause costs to skyrocket and really damage public image.
Fleet safety pros really emphasize this, right? Acting quickly.
They use the word alacrity, immediate, cheerful readiness. Some even recommend pocket-sized checklists for drivers so they don't have to remember everything under stress.
And preparing for this isn't just about training, it's about having the right stuff in the cab.
Exactly. Triangles, vest, flashlight, basic first aid kit, maybe even a backup phone charger. It's about having the tools and the training to stay calm and act methodically.
Good advice. Now, sticking with challenges on the road, let's talk summer. We always focus on ice and snow, but summer brings its own set of sneaky hazards, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I heard a veteran driver joke once. In winter, you fight the ice. In summer, you fight the sun and your own truck's temper.
Huh. That's pretty accurate. What kind of temper issues are we talking about?
Heat stress on the truck. Tires are a big one. Heat increases pressure, raising blowout risk. Brakes can overheat on long downgrades. Engines work harder. Cooling systems are stressed.
And then there's the weather itself.
Right. Sudden, intense pop-up thunderstorms that can cause flash flooding or turn roads slick in minutes. Wildfire smoke out west, drastically reducing visibility and impacting air quality inside and outside the cab. Rapid flooding, summer, can be surprisingly volatile.
So how do you stay weather ready in the summer?
Frequent tire pressure checks are key, especially in high heat. Plan your runs if you can maybe hit those mountain passes earlier in the day before storms typically build up. Keep a good emergency kit, extra water, electrolytes, maybe one of those cooling towels.
That driver wisdom about respecting the heat and sudden shifts really rings true.
It does. And pay close attention to your brakes on those long downhill stretches. In hot weather, they can fade faster than you expect. Use your tech, too. Weather apps, CB radio, truck-specific GPS alerts can warn you about storms, smoke, or road closures ahead.
Being flexible with routes seems crucial too.
Absolutely. Having an alternate route in mind can save you hours of sitting still. And stay hydrated. Slow down in heavy rain. That first rain after a dry spell can mix with oil on the road and make it incredibly slick. Same goes for dust storms or heavy smoke. Reduce speed, increase following distance.
Okay, so whether it's post-crash response or summer readiness, it really comes back to proactive planning and quick, informed actions. This knowledge isn't just about following rules.
No, it's about empowering yourself, protecting yourself out there.
And that theme of empowerment brings us to a really crucial message for the future, doesn't it?
It does. We've talked about all these changes: autonomous tech, market consolidation, shifting regulations on emissions and IC status. The industry is reshaping itself faster than ever.
So in the midst of all this rapid change, managing your time becomes even more critical. But not just for shippers and deadlines.
Exactly. It's about managing time for yourself, thinking about your own future, your own security.
We're talking about using that off-duty time, maybe downtime, wisely, learning new skills, building other income streams.
Precisely. And one area with huge potential right now is learning how to use AI, artificial intelligence, to maybe create recurring online income streams.
Now, why is that so important for a trucker?
Think of it as a shield, a buffer against the inevitable ups and downs of freight rates, the swings in the economy. It gives you options. It provides a path maybe to retire on your own terms when you want to, not when the industry dictates.
Or just provides a safety net if something unexpected happens with your current trucking situation.
Exactly. It's about building resilience. This is all part of making sure you, the driver, feel respected, feel supported, by giving you tools to thrive no matter what shifts happen in the industry.
It ties back to that mission Hervey and the team at LifeAsATrucker talk about. They started helping truckers get into the industry.
And now they're really focused on helping you get out of the industry, if you choose, successfully and on your own terms, building a future that gives you more control.
So let's leave our listeners with a final thought. The road ahead. Yeah, it might have autonomous vehicles, new regulations, shifting markets, but the most powerful tool you have in your toolbox.
It's your own ability to adapt, to learn, and to actively plan for your future.
So the question is, what skills are you going to start cultivating today to shape your tomorrow?
And remember, there are resources out there to help you navigate all this. If you're interested in learning more about preparing for retirement or exploring how AI tools might help build online income, you can check out retirefromtrucking.com.
Great advice. Thanks for breaking all that down today.
My pleasure. Lots to think about.